born?
I was born in Mukilteo, 1920, and having my and my mother's sisters, there were four of them, we call them the Four Sisters. In our early childhood, all four sisters lived in Ballard, and they moved from a homestead up in Stanwood, and my grandfather came to Ballard, and all the seafaring men were the people that stayed in Ballard Hotel. They eventually sold the hotel, and they moved over to Bainbridge Island. From Bainbridge Island, we were around the county and ended up here in Manchester. And the reason that we came to Manchester was my grandfather, who I remember, and I've got pictures of him and me when I was just a little kid. That was my first experience, but can't remember that. There were lots opened up, and they were plotting in Manchester with these lots, and the seafaring guys, one of them was an engineer aboard the ships, married my mother, and the other one married my aunt, and the grandfather he had an opportunity to get a free lot if he induced these guys to buy lots up there. So they bought lots.
Excuse me, about what time, but what year?
Well, that was before my time, really. I was little. I don't remember exactly what year that was. Mm-hmm. But that's how we got here originally in Manchester.
So it must have been before your time, and it must have been...
Well, that was like before that was 19...
you were about
17, something like that.
Okay, about 1917?
Something like that.
Wow.
Well, you got to remember, they came out in covered wagons, homesteaded down the line, and ended up here. And I can remember that at the time I was just a little tiny baby in my grandfather's arms. Now that's what I don't really remember all of that.
Yeah.
That's just what I was told, except I've seen the picture.
Yes.
But then we started, let's see, what would be the next thing along the line? Later on then, we would come and visit Manchester from Mukilteo, and we rode the old cross line, which was a brand new ferry coming into Manchester from Alki Point. And we came over, and I was about 7 years old, 6, 7 years old at that time. The rest of my life I've been coming to Manchester. Started every summer in the summertime we always came to Manchester, and on the beach we enjoyed the surroundings, the old hotel that was on the end of Manchester, and the point. There was nothing out there but there's an old steamer that was wreckage, and they had to salvage it eventually. But we enjoyed the boardwalk coming down. The boardwalk ended. There was no point down there per se where the steamer was out, and we played. But we actually was back up in the hill to where my grandfather had this lot. He got his free lot. The lots were given finally to our kids, Stephen and Mike. He's my brother's son, and Mary, my sister, and all of us. They got lots. We ended up. They sold those lots, went down to Ballard Realty. I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, but I just kind of wanted to get that Ballard Realty in there. That was your father. Went down to him, and when I transferred those lots, or Helen and I did, over to the kids, and I offered your father a chance to buy more lots. I thought that'd be a good investment. And so anyway, he couldn't get a buyer, so we finally did sold them off later, and the kids used the money to go to college. So that was the beginning of Manchester. But the things that I can remember most when I was a kid was the fun we had. And one was Ruder's store down there. That was the main store down by the old ferry dock. I remember standing on the dock on a Sunday afternoon, and the Model T Fords lined up all the way up the hill. And we would entertain ourselves by jumping over the side for money. They would throw pennies, nickels, money into the water. I got the secret on how to catch that money at that time. And that was, don't let it hit the bottom. Dive under the money as it wiggles down, it goes back and forth. And you pick it right off the water. Anyway, then we had, at those days, it was party beach. Fires all over the place. And around the 4th of July, there would be dozens of fires right on the beach. And as kids, I would go to my cousins, Roy and Joe, and we would play on the beach in the sand and crawl under the boardwalk. And it was just a lot of fun.
And when you speak of Roy, you mean Roy Daniels?
Roy Daniels, that's my cousin, yes.
And he's right next door here?
Right next door right now. We're living on the old Daniels estate, you might say. The Daniels took over this estate, or this estate area, and if you talk to Roy, you'll get a whole picture there. I'm not sure what's going on with that. But.
By the way, we're 2 doors north of Daniels Loop, the north end of Daniels Loop right now.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We're 2 doors north of that.
Yeah.
And it's a private driveway. It's not off of Daniels Loop.
Yeah, from the beach down. There was a road we came right through here, or was supposed to come through, and that was a part of the Daniels family, and they decided not to put the road through, and so we punched in from the side and came down the gravel road on the main highway there, Beach Drive. I can remember playing in a little miniature golf course. You remember that, Bob? Oh no, you wouldn't remember that. You're not old enough.
Well, next door there's been a golf course for years, but
well,
on the Soyette property.
Yes, true.
And part of the holes are on yours, I think.
Oh yeah, that was just a homegrown, golf course. We played golf, had a lot of fun. But I'm talking about, this was a miniature golf course, a putt-putt thing.
That's what you had mentioned. I don't know about that.
You can imagine that, it was, in my recollections and memories, this was like going to Europe or going to over the seas from Mukilteo, like going out and with all of the things that was happening around here, it was just a big kind of a playground as a kid. We'd play golf, we'd, crawl under the boardwalk and watch the people walk over us, look through the cracks, all kinds of crazy little things as kids. But then later on, I got married to Georgia Peach, came up here and lived and raised 2 boys, Helen and I, and experienced a lot of the same things then, but a lot of changes. It still is a nice, pleasant area, a lot of fun still, but in the old days it was like a resort.
Very interesting, very interesting. I've heard a lot about it. I understand that you're saying that there's beach fires all along here, along the boardwalk.
I would guess, yes. That was
And that boardwalk was made out of wood, or right in front of your place here?
Right, yeah. Originally it was a nice boardwalk, and eventually, as it deteriorated, it was repatched, and then finally it wore out. But
as far as you understand, did the Navy put that in?
I don't really know. I don't know about that.
I understand that it was placed there so the service personnel could get from the oil dock to the taverns and things, the stores and things.
There wasn't anybody down there to come down the walk. That was just for the people on the beach.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There wasn't any naval station down there at that time. It was actually wild. We used to go down there and picnic on the point, right out to the point down there. There was no houses.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
I thought the boardwalk was there after the Navy.
Do you remember that wreckage that was there, the derelict that they put in there to try to burn and never ignited it? It was steel and all kinds of stuff, hardwoods, and it's just laid there for years. And we used to play around that as kids.
Wow.
It was like going to Never Land when you're a young kid. You know?
Yes, I guess so. What do you like most about living here in Manchester?
Well, it's the community, and it's the people around, and the fact that we've got lots of relations around here, and memories, and my kids even love it. They still love it. I'm sure they do. We put two of the cabins. My brother came over and took over bought it from the Daniels, one of the cabins. There was Caraway cabins, and they had their set of cabins that they were going to build a dance hall. This is a story that he told me, and they eventually a storm came in and knocked it down, so they took the materials and built cabins, and that's where we stayed in these old cabins. And that's an original cabin. There are two of them put together that you see down there in the front. So they're pretty old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
When you think it was about 1926, we were staying in those cabins.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Well, it's great. Well, I thank you very much for your time this afternoon, and it's been most enjoyable talking with you.
Well, that's good. I appreciate you coming.
All right. Thank you.